Welcome back to the Great Debate Show with your hosts, Jarvis Jeffries, Terrence Smith, Nick Ely. We are back. We the good guys. Back up in this biatch for another episode. The Great Debate Show is available wherever you get your podcast. Rate, review, follow, or subscribe. Hit that subscribe or follow button so you can be notified each and every time a new episode is available and up. And don't forget to download. A lot of people done it here the past few weeks. We appreciate you listening here at the Great Debate Show. The numbers definitely show, and they definitely help. If anybody that didn't hear that episode where I was just asking, if you've made a huge mistake and never was downloading our episodes, please go back and do so. If you're around Wi-Fi, 3 to 5 seconds, that thing's going to buffer around so fast, and boom. A lot of people went back and done so, and we appreciate it. Thank you. And continue to do so. And you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us right now. We appreciate it. And we've got a lot to talk about, and that's breaking down week 4 of the NFL. It is officially a wrap, and we're live on a Monday night right after Monday Night Football to talk about what happened in week 4. A lot of news, a lot of storylines. We had a doubleheader Monday Night Football game as the Detroit Lions defeated the Seattle Seahawks in a shootout. It looked like it was going to be a blowout, then it kind of turned into a shootout. But the Seahawks get the win, 42-29 out in Detroit. Jared Goff had a perfect night, 18 of 18. And, and a touchdown, just a good night. I mean, they say he didn't break the record, the NFL record, because it has to be like a minimum of 20 pass attempts or something like that. But nonetheless, it was still going perfect. Come on, it's like pitching a no-hitter almost. I mean, like the entire game, no incompletion for the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff. But I've been a big Jared Goff fan, even though a lot of people sleep on him. I also want to ask Nick in this show, what's up with Philly? Seems like it seems like it's more trouble in paradise, or shall I say trouble in Philly. And Rashee Rice, could possibly have a torn ACL. Another major blow. Pacheco's going to be out for like 6 to 8 weeks. Now this, not a good thing for the Chiefs, but then again, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're still undefeated. They keep on winning. The Vikings are still undefeated. They keep on winning. I never thought I'd say this ever on my podcast, on our podcast, that Sam Darnold is a leading candidate for MVP in the NFL. I never thought I'd say that out loud. But he is. And one of our favorite listeners, man, I got to say, man, William Jones, he said a few seasons ago and last season also that Sam Darnold, if he was in the right opportunity, the right place, he really could be a franchise quarterback in his league. And I would just send him the laughing emojis on the Great Debate Show page. I got to start taking some of that back. I got to start, backpedaling on that, man. He always said it looks like he may be right. Nick Chubb is coming back to practice this week. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think about that. Can he give the Cleveland Browns mouth to mouth? Because they sure could use it. It's the Great Debate Show. Terrence and Nick, man, hi in the hell are y'all doing tonight?
I'm struggling a little bit with the insinuation that the Browns need mouth to mouth, considering who their quarterback is. Past that, I'm doing just fine.
Man.
Hey man, that ain't where he like mouth, so it's okay.
Good way to start.
Maybe not.
With a good funny. All right, T, how you feeling, man?
Hey, I'm good, man. It's like I told y'all on the last show. Buffalo's fake tough, so I can kind of pump my chest a little bit. Uh, yeah, I'm fine. My Monday was tougher than the Buffalo Bills actually are.
Mm, Shots
See what
fired.
you did there.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Buffalo Bills. They caught a beat down last night, no doubt about it, on Sunday Night Football to Terrence's Baltimore Ravens. That was not pretty at all for the Bills anyway, 35-10 in that. We'll come back to that in a minute. But first I want to just ask you guys, with the Monday night games, is there anything that you take from Detroit and Seattle, who are now both 3-1 on the season? Let's go with, since it was an NFC game, let's start with Nick. What did you take from this Monday Night Football game? That was very entertaining.
I took from it that the Lions are damn good. Um, Jared Goff had a perfect game, and like I said, albeit him not apparently having at least 20 pass attempts, which didn't really make much sense to me. Because if you're telling me that he got the most pass attempts without an incompletion in a game, then how is it that we have a minimum of 20 to have the record when apparently has had 20? Nobody's had 18 other than Jared Goff. That didn't really make a lot of sense to me. But at any rate, he had a perfect game, 18 for 18, 292 yards, couple touchdowns, caught a touchdown. The Lions defense played well enough. Obviously, the Seahawks certainly were able to move the ball very well. Geno Smith, I believe, had career highs in both completions and yardage in the game. But they very much exemplified bending but not breaking. It didn't give up too many points. While their offense was certainly flying high for the night. So good on the Lions. The Seahawks are definitely still a good team as well. Definitely a viable contender in the NFC going forward. The Lions were the better team tonight. And they look to be the better team going forward, at least just based on what we saw here tonight. We'll see how things go. Maybe when they match up with the Vikings.
What it told me is that I would love to see it again. I mean, that's pretty much it. I think
Oh yeah.
we all deserve a good rematch between these two teams. It doesn't have to necessarily be in the conference championship or anything like that, but hey, a January matchup between these two teams, I'm signing up for it. Absolutely. I don't want to call it an instant classic, but we pretty much saw the best of both of those teams offensively. And I would very much pay money to see it again, inject it into my veins immediately.
Hmm.
Yeah, that
And
was good. That
it's
was
a
good stuff.
refreshing
Good
matchup,
football.
you know.
Right, right. Uh, the it was a good game, man. Again, Jared Goff, 18 of 18, 292 on the passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no INTs. Geno Smith had a good night too, but a lot of pass attempts, 38 of 56, 395 yards, and a touchdown, and he did have an interception. So, okay, guys. So we pretty much we got the Monday night game. We got the Monday night game pretty much squared away. Look, I want to quickly before we move on. I lost my phone there for a second, but before we keep going with the Sunday games, let's quickly talk about the other Monday night game. It wasn't a lot to speak on. It was kind of brutal to watch. The Titans and the Miami Dolphins. Can y'all still hear me, guys?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, so this thing's really not wanting to stay up right now. The Miami Dolphins and the Tennessee Titans played, and I said that this game was a battle, or how can I say, a sweepstakes. That's how I said it. The Russell Wilson sweepstakes. That's exactly what it seems like. Neither team has a quarterback. I mean, like, not a good quarterback. Mason Rudolph came in for Will Levis, who seems to have a shoulder injury, but we know he could have came back in that game. The head coach was like, hey, he's doing all right here. Let's see where this goes. Mason Rudolph finishes the game. The Titans get a win, their first win of the season. On the other hand, we look at the Titans. The Dolphins on the other side. Titans do have a pretty good defense. It's solid now. Don't get me wrong. They're playing like it was the Super Bowl. And the Dolphins are looking like they're playing and calling plays like it's a practice, a scrimmage, 7-on-7
Toilet
drill.
bowl.
It was terrible, and it was hard to watch. Huntley has only been there for 2 minutes. I don't know what happened to. I forgot the backup who I thought was the backup. Was it Thompson or was it Skyler? I don't know what the name was or who it is, but
Skylar Thompson, huh?
Skyler Thompson. That's him. Thank you. I don't know where he was or what happened to him. Is he hurt? Why couldn't he play? I don't know. But the Dolphins quarterback situation looks abysmal if Tua's not coming back, if he's not playing. We don't know when he's coming back, if he's coming back at all. So before we move on to some of these games from Sunday, I just want to ask you guys, and I'll start with Terrence. He knows a little bit more about the Dolphins. I guess the Titans are going to try to roll with Mason Rudolph for a few weeks and see where this thing goes. Don't know, don't really care, to be honest with you. But I think they'll realize that Will Levis was a bad pick, and we'll see where the Titans go from there. But the Dolphins need to do something, or they need to let us know they're tanking. Or Terrence, what are the Miami Dolphins' plans at quarterback for the rest of the season if Tua is not returning? Should they be going to get Russell Wilson, or are they giving up on the season?
I think the Dolphins are unfortunately in limbo. Everybody's waiting on to see not only does Tua want to come back, because from what I read earlier today, he does plan on coming back. But the real question here is, can he legitimately play football? And none of us know that because we don't know which hit is going to be his last. We literally saw a man die on the field a couple of years ago. We don't want to see that again. And ironically, that guy is the guy that inadvertently laid him out. So we just do not want to see Tua just literally lifeless on the field. Um, and I'm sure the Dolphins organization, Tua's family, everybody's in limbo right now. And the Dolphins organization, their hands are tied. They really can't do much. If they go out and try to trade for a Russell Wilson, Tua could just come back at any time. And I mean, I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but do you really want to make a move and the guy comes back in 2 weeks? But what I will say is, if he doesn't come back, they literally have to make a move as quickly as they can. And I don't know when their bye week is, Nick. If you have your phone, if you want to look that up for me real quick. Uh, but whenever their bye week is, they need to make a move before the bye week so that they can try to install some plays for whoever's going to come in because this thing here is a nightmare. And I just got to say this before I pass it on to Nick, but uh, people always talk about system this, system that. Hey, I don't care what the system is. If you ain't got talent, it's just a system. Charles Barkley said, without Shaq and Kobe or Scotty and Mike, that triangle is a square or a rectangle, I think is what he said. So same with this system here, man. Yeah, I know,
I've
Jarvis. I
said that
know,
for years.
yeah. I know this is the Shanahan West Coast system. It's been passed down from all the way through the 49ers organization to pretty much all over the league. But without talent, you can put it on any coach you want to put it on.
Yeah, the Dolphins bye week is what looks like week 6. It's not this coming. They got New England this coming week. And then their bye week. So that weekend of the 13th, I guess that is their bye week. Honestly, I think at this point it maybe they maybe need to start looking at tanking the season and looking towards the future at the quarterback position. It's not so much just obviously it is still very early in the season, but by the same token, you got a couple more weeks before you're looking at bringing Tua back. And unless Tua is coming back to a team that's won these last couple of games, that being against New England and then against Indianapolis after the bye, I think at that point is when Tua will be first eligible to return. And I would venture to say if Miami doesn't win probably both of those games, then Miami should probably hold Tua out for the remainder of the season. Not only so that for the best interest of his health, but also for the best interest of the team looking for his replacement. Because clearly he's not going to be durable enough to be the answer over the long term. And I hate that for him. But if that's the point that you see yourself at, you can no longer gamble the future of your franchise, particularly the immediate future, while you still got the talent of a Tyreek Hill and a Jalen Waddle and a Devon Achane and a Raheem Mostert and all these guys. You can't gamble that immediate future strictly on the health of Tua. He's shown that's just not a safe or smart investment for a team to make at this time. And so if they can find themselves in a position where they can either trade for somebody that can at the very least be a bridge of a quarterback for their franchise through this season and maybe through next season, or if they decide it's time to go ahead and throw it in the tank and look to get a Shadur Sanders or a Carson Beck or whoever else in the draft, they'll be making that decision here in the next few weeks.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about it. Pretty much what you just.
I got a quick question, and this is actually for both of y'all. Let's just say you guys are GMs of teams right now that needs quarterbacks, and right now the trend around the league, and we talked about this on a previous episode. You got your Geno Smiths, Jarvis. You just mentioned Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. You got a lot of recreation projects that are now leading their teams to big wins. If you are a GM, would you be more inclined to try to find one of those guys immediately as opposed to trying to look in the draft to get a young talent?
I think it depends on the situation that my team is in and what options are out there for an immediate fix. So, for example, if I am the Dolphins, I I'm definitely in the market for an immediate fix if it's there. If I can go get a Russell Wilson, if let's say for whatever reason, let's say if Michael Penix had been playing for the Falcons instead and Kirk Cousins was available, if somebody else of that vein, a veteran quarterback that I can trust to come in and lead this team and give us at least a portion of the success we would have expected from our starter. For the Dolphins, I would definitely look to do that. Whereas if I was say the Titans, I'm looking to build for the future. There's no need to try to bring in a bridge guy or somebody that can help me win right now because you don't have the pieces to win right now, save for maybe squeaking into the playoffs because you've got a decent defense and DeAndre Hopkins. But you're not going to advance. You're not going to do anything with it. So, if you're telling the Titans, those resources are much better allocated towards the draft in the future.
I would say that if we're talking about the Dolphins, I would say that they should just. I think the Dolphins should tank it out right now. To be honest with you, I was going to piggyback on what Nick was saying with that. Jadir Sanders would love to come to Florida versus going to Nashville or Dallas. Now, I'll take that back. He may want to be a Cowboy, and then he probably will be. But if I'm the Dolphins, man, let's just tank it out. Let's just go ahead and draft him or somebody, or take the picks and get a lot of draft capital for moving back for somebody else, and maybe go with a bridge quarterback. But I don't know if the Dolphins have it. I mean, look, if we know Tua's not playing, go ahead and go get Russell. Maybe you can give it a shot and see where you stand as a team. And he can come back next year and he can be the backup or the journeyman until, they get the guy that they draft to come in. I don't know. I think the Dolphins are probably without a quarterback, if they have to restart this thing, maybe a reload, not necessarily a complete rebuild, but I think they would need to reload a bit. And I would say, hey, why not tank it out? Why not go ahead and try to draft the quarterback? I don't know if I would go get the bridge quarterback, the veteran quarterback, if my team or my roster is not quite good enough to get it. Like, do you think if Tom Brady could still play football, if he came back and quarterbacked the Miami Dolphins, would you say, okay, the Dolphins could actually make a run now in the playoffs? Or would you say, nah, they're gonna get that man killed. The Dolphins don't have enough. I guess that would be the question. And if you don't think the Dolphins roster is like playoff caliber, well, they've been in the postseason, but they haven't won. Do they have enough on the roster to win a playoff game with Tua or with someone better than Tua? Or I don't know. But I think Tua should play football again. That's just my opinion.
Uh, No, I think he's got like another season before he can come out or whatever.
Yeah.
We missed a decent bit. At least I missed a decent bit of what you were saying, kind of there in the middle. Here just a second ago, but yeah, we good. All right. As soon as I said that, we are not good now. We've lost Jarvis.
Uh, Well, look, while we're here, Nick, I'm sure you caught a lot of that Bucks game. Tell us what happened with that with your Eagles and the Bucks. And my question
So I
to you
apologize
was
again
that
for
do
the
the Bucks just
difficulties, but
have you
yeah, I
guys'
just
number?
think that like the Dolphins, they need to do something
I don't
if they're
necessarily
not
think
going
it's
to
a
do
situation where they got our
anything. Then
number.
don't do anything.
Certainly we didn't come into this
That's just
game,
my that's just the way
fully
I
formed or
see it.
fully ready
They just shouldn't do
to go
anything.
as far as having
If you're
our
tanking,
full
tank
offensive arsenal.
and go get
Lane
Jameer
Johnson,
Sanders,
Devontae
and he'll
Smith,
love
AJ
to come to
Brown, all
Florida.
out.
And now
The
you've
guys
got a
we called
hot
up from the
team
practice
again,
squad,
ready to make a run.
along with Jahan Dotson, kind of
Or
were our
you
receiving
know,
core
you
there.
you could go with that bridge
Along with, of
quarterback if
course,
you don't want to tank it
Dallas
out. Go
Goddard
get
and
Russell
a
now.
little bit of
See how
Saquon
it looks
Barkley,
and
who I
decide if you
think we
bring him
did
back
not use
next year.
nearly enough.
Give it another shot and bring in somebody that's
So
going to
just
learn.
from a player standpoint, a personnel
Can Russell
standpoint,
even help them
I
out?
understand
That's
where we
another question
were
that
certainly
remains to
limited
be seen. So
in
I
this
don't know.
game and kind of
But the
where we had some
Dolphins
issues
need to
there.
do
I
something
think the bigger
because
thing and the part
mean,
that
Dolphin
Jarvis
fans are
and you
not going to
probably
keep
as
coming
well are
back. There's
waiting to
plenty of
hear
things to do in
is that
Miami.
yes, I do see that it's
They could be
clear
doing
that there are
hundreds, thousands
certainly
of
some
other things
issues
other
there
than going
between
to a
Jalen Hurts and
football
Nick
game
Sirianni.
in South
I
Beach.
don't really
So they
understand it
need to
other
figure it
than,
out.
from what they're saying is like a
We're
personality
talking
clash
about
almost between the
fans
two.
that were coming in late for the
His
Miami Heat in the
response to,
NBA Finals. They were showing up late to games
the
in the
question from
NBA
the
Finals because it's
reporter
Miami.
about him and Nick talking
They
about,
probably left the
kind of
beach a little too late and lost track
the
of
pulse of
time.
the team and how to deal with the team going forward. And,
Dolphins are going to
we'll
have to
have
do
our
something.
moments.
They want to keep the seats
Doesn't
full.
seem like obviously what you would
I'm
expect
still trying to
between a
get
head
these
coach and
guys,
quarterback.
and
You
I
would
have
expect that
lost
they would
them
be
still
in
for
some
the
pretty
moment.
constant communication going
Um,
forward as they kind of try to find a way to right the ship here. That being said, just from a football standpoint, I don't think there's a whole lot that needs to be done to right the ship per se, other than for us to get healthy. Obviously having our top two receivers out, having our starting right tackle, who's arguably the best tackle or at least best right tackle in football, being out as well certainly makes it very difficult to run your offense. So I think getting those guys back, we've got to buy this coming week. So I think getting those guys back will be really good for us moving forward to try to get things back on the right track for the season.
Well, Nick, let me ask you this: what if it? And I don't think this is the case. But what if it doesn't get right? Like, what if you had to make an immediate move right now to fix the Eagles? And I don't think you guys are broken, but uh, just to patch things up, what would you do immediately to set the Eagles back straight?
I don't think that there is an external move or I think the only fix for the Eagles for this season is going to be for Jalen and Nick to find a working happy medium. And maybe
Okay,
even for Nick and Kellen Moore. I don't think that there is a situation where you could bring in somebody from the outside or remove somebody from the situation currently in order to elevate our situation for the remainder of the season.
all right,
We're running right.
Jarvis.
Sorry for the trouble. Yes, T. I was just trying to let the audience know because they're not going to hear what I missed. They're not going to hear what I missed on y'all's end. So I'm trying to fill them in on Nick actually speaking about the Eagles right now. I was just trying to, fill them in on whatever before I got back on here. I don't know how I lost you guys. Am I connected okay now? Are we connected? Is the
Oh, you
connection live?
good?
Okay. So I
Yeah,
was just
I
want
can
to
hear
let
you and I
everybody
can see
know
you.
we missed, we missed everything, recording here on this side. So I just wanted to just let everybody know Nick is speaking about the Eagles. That was going to be my next question: what happened to the Eagles? And then
Yeah.
Terrence can talk about what happened with the Ravens and what you think about the Bills after what your Ravens did to them. So Nick, if you don't mind, I know the video camera probably is going to have, I don't know how much you've been saying, but if you could please just briefly run
Yeah.
back through what is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. Like I said, from a personnel standpoint, obviously having AJ and Devontae both out along with Lane Johnson, certainly not helpful for our situation there. The Bucks are a good team. I don't want to take anything from them. They are a good team and certainly look to contend in the NFC South going forward. This season. But the elephant in the room, of course, is the obvious issues that they have to be there between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni in terms of that relationship there. Jalen's comments after the game and his response to the reporter about how he and Nick will communicate about getting the team right going forward certainly is indicative of that rift. And as I was telling Terrence, I don't think there is a removal of anybody or an addition of anybody that can fix the situation for this season. I think it would take more of a sit down amongst the people involved to be able to find a happy medium working relationship to kind of get things right for the rest of the season. Overall, I think the biggest thing is that obviously we got the bye coming up this week. That'll allow guys to get healthy, and then we can get back on the right track from there. That's what I think is the biggest thing, biggest of all of it. For us moving forward is guys being able to get healthy and stay healthy for the remainder of the season.
Well, the good thing is you still have the New York Football Giants in your division, so
Yep.
you should be okay.
I think we play them soon after the bye as well.
Y'all need a good game against the Giants.
Yeah, I think we got like 4 games coming out of the bye that are all very, very winnable. I think we can get some momentum with. So we can get through those 4 unscathed. Then we're looking at 6-2, and now we're having a different conversation.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yes.
Knock yourself out, Jarvis.
Okay, Nick. I told you when the season started that the Philadelphia Eagles were, they just were not going to jail. There was going to be some drama, some trouble in paradise. I've been hearing the rumors all season long. What's up with Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts? And for him to say we have our moments when asked something about the game, the coaching with Nick Sirianni, he said we have our moments instead of just saying, hey, man, he's got my back, I got his back, we're going to be fine, we'll learn from this, we'll get better from this. His words are getting shorter and shorter, and that's not like Jalen Hurts. I feel the disconnect between the two, and I think everybody does, and it's been going on for quite some time now, and it's just more and more coming to the light. And again, I don't see Jalen Hurts leading the Philadelphia Eagles. I hear that he's great in the locker room, but I need to see it on the field too. This is the one thing that I have about Jalen Hurts that I just can't shake. Everybody keeps saying, Jarvis, you're a little too hard on Hurts, man. What's wrong with it? The hell you mean what's wrong? He can't never give me a clean game. Like, did you know that Jalen Hurts has turned the ball over like, man, how many games straight is it? Like 9? That's a lot. And again, I know Jalen Hurts didn't have his number 1 and his number 2. No A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith. I get it. But Saquon Barkley was still on the field. Kelly Moore still calling the plays. You still got a good O-line, let you tell it. Oh, I'm sorry. Lane Johnson was out too. I'll take that back. But when Brock Purdy missed Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, but he's overrated. He can't win without his stars. Neither can Jalen Hurts, can he? I don't know. I'm just saying. It kind of seems like if anybody's a little overrated, maybe it's Jalen. Put together one clean game for me and then do it again the next week also. And then do it again the next week. But what needs to stop is
To
the
put together 3 clean
games.
games.
Give me some clean games and stop turning the ball over every game. Is it me? Is it just me? Or do I see Jalen Hurts holding the ball too long in the pocket at times? I see a little indecisiveness. Where is this coming from? I want to see the Jalen Hurts that I saw in 2022. And no, Shane Steichen is not coming back to the rescue. You have to show me what you showed me in 2022, or else we'll eventually be saying, what have you done for me lately? 2023, you got off to a good start. Can I get the first half of 2023? But for the past 9 weeks, dating back to last season, I just can't get a clean, full, polished game from Jalen Hurts. And it makes me wonder, is he really who we think he is or is he not? I don't know. I'm just saying. And him and the coach, damn that. Somebody figure it out, get it together, or somebody's got to go. And according to the contracts, we know it won't be the quarterback. So this is the reason why, Nick, I told you that Nick Sirianni would be fired by Thanksgiving. And if they keep this up, it could be Halloween. The Eagles look bad, and I think Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox missing in action, being gone. You can't tell me looking at the Eagles, they're not heavily missed. Jalen Carter, hell of a talent. But they don't know how to use him. They don't know how to use anybody. Kellen Moore, I told you would be a problem. I told you he can't stay balanced. I told you he wouldn't run the ball enough. Saquon Barkley is the only person that looks sane and seems to have it together, and he just got there. Everybody else just seems a little bit discombobulated. Give the ball to Saquon a little bit more. The Eagles don't look
Be on the
good.
lookout after the bye. That's all I'm saying.
It's a good thing that you do have the bye, Nick. It is. But you
Yep.
know what? You
Agreed.
know what? When you come back from the bye, guess who's coming back with the Eagles? Nick Sirianni. His ass will still be there. Acting like Brandon Staley, as I've said. And I heard somebody this morning on ESPN use that reference. I did it first 3 weeks ago. I said I'm getting Brandon Staley vibes when I see Nick Sirianni. And we know what happened to Brandon Staley eventually. He was fired as head coach from the Chargers. The same thing is going to happen with
We
the
got
Eagles.
Cleveland coming to town right after that bye.
Okay? All right. Cleveland coming to town after the bye. Nick, as I said before, your team is very talented. They just seem to get in their own way. And I think that will be the reason. You'll probably beat Cleveland, and you'll probably lose the next game, and you'll probably win. It just seems like it's going to be a lot of inconsistency this season, but we'll see. The bye could save you. It could help you. Let's see. But I think you got some missing pieces, and a lot of inconsistencies, too, with the coordinators, with the assistants. Nick Sirianni brought these people in, if I'm not mistaken. Dick Fangio, up and down. He's always been that guy. Kellen Moore, up and down. Anyway, the Eagles lose. They are 1-2? 2-2, I'm sorry. 2-2?
Two
Am
and
I
two.
correct? 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
So there's no way you can be leading the NFC East at 2-2. The Cowboys, they
We're
just
not.
got back to 2-2. And then you got the Giants. We know they're terrible. It seems like there's one team I'm missing. Oh, the
Commanders.
Washington Commanders. Are the Washington Commanders ahead in the NFC East right now at 3-1? Like I predicted that they would win. And I know we got a lot of football left, but let me have my moment right now. The Washington Commanders are doing good, and Jaden Daniels looks like he's playing Madden on 99, and you're playing in franchise mode, and I don't know, and it's an arcade level. Like this dude is balling, and it seems like it's on like rookie mode. He's making it look easy, guys. He's poised in the pocket. He's cool as a cucumber. He never gets off the field. He extends third down after third down after third down. I mean, he's cool as the other side of the pillow. He's got an arm. He's accurate. He can throw it deep. He can throw it short. He can run. And he can get down without getting hurt. Man, I'm not trying to speak too soon. But damn. They said Caleb Williams was going to be the second coming. They might have got it wrong. This dude is pretty good. And Cliff Kingsbury, I apologize. Damn, you cooking right now. You cooking in the playbook with fish grease for real. So I just wanted to give the Commanders their roses right now. And I know it's early, but shout out to the Commanders for being number one in the NFC East through the first month of the season. And it's just the first month of the season, but damn it, you can't tell me as a Cowboy or an Eagle fan, you're not a little bit worried in that corner about what this young guy's about. This reminds me of 2012 RG3 rookie year out of nowhere. What the hell just happened? The Washington Redskins won the NFC East with a rookie quarterback. I'm getting those vibes. That was 2012, 12 years later. Here's a rookie quarterback. Here's a new head coach in Dan Quinn who knows how to get wins. Nick, it's over for you. You'll see. It's coming. I'm right every damn
That's
time.
cool.
Let's keep it going, though. All right, so we talked about the
The
Eagles.
kid's
Now it's
good.
time to talk about Terrence's Ravens. Terrence's Ravens dragged the Buffalo Bills. Made them look like 0-3, not 3-0. Derrick Henry immediately off the gate. 250, 260, whatever he weighs, shouldn't be running like that. If you weigh that much, shouldn't be running like that. Man, he was like 30 miles an hour into the end zone. Terrence, your boys came back with a vengeance from 0-2 to 2-2, and they shut the Buffalo Bills down. We were just saying Josh Allen is MVP, and he is an early candidate, but so is Sam Darnold. And I'll get to him in a moment. Terrence, congratulations on your convincing win. Now, what does this mean for your Ravens? And then tell me, what does it mean for the Bills, if anything?
As far as the Ravens, I mean, I still say this is what they did last year. They beat up on good teams. Their issue is always losing games in the fourth quarter, typically to bad teams, and they just can't beat Mahomes. It's when you really put it in totality, it's not that bad. So I don't know if it's saying anything about them that they didn't do last year. They beat up on good teams. They are a complete team. They can be more explosive, in my opinion, but offense is not bad. Defense is very good. And you know what? All that running around, throwing it downfield, I told y'all he's gonna result in what he used to do when the game got tough. They can't stick to their run game when the game gets tough. He's gonna run around trying to throw it downfield, and it cost him a fumble. And I think it actually cost him a touchdown right after that. So, uh, hey, you talk about the script. Well, hell, I wrote the script that game because they couldn't match the physicality, and that's just what it came down to. But I wanna give a shout out to Derrick Henry, and I want to throw something out here at y'all real quick. So I came across a list today. The active players with the most rushing yards, and right now Derrick Henry is at 9,783. The next closest person is Ezekiel Elliott with almost 9,000 himself, 8,900. Derrick Henry, and maybe Zeke too, but Derrick Henry for sure might very well be the last running back to get to 10,000 yards. Uh, so I'm just throwing it out there. I don't have a question behind it. I just want to put it on your minds, put it on your brains, because I know we just had a Hall of Fame discussion recently, and I'm thinking that going in the future, we may have to start grading running backs differently from a career standpoint than we grade any other position because they just don't play long enough. But shout out to Derrick Henry, shout out to the Ravens, and even shout out to the Bills. I'm sure we'll probably see them again or whatever. Nobody worries about the Bills. They're not really tough.
You said Derrick Henry's at 9,700 yards,
Correct.
and Zeke's at 89. Who's third?
1 second. Let me get my old phone back on here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, Nick. It's just like the Bills offense. Let's see. Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon with 6,500.
He's probably
That's a,
not making it.
he's got a nice
No.
little bit to go, and he was out too, I believe, on Sunday for the
He
Texans.
was out, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, interesting.
Yeah,
But
he may be the last one we see for quite some time.
could be.
As it pertains to the Ravens and Bills, obviously my pick for this game was wrong. I picked the Bills to win it. Ravens showed up ready to play. The Ravens team we had seen to this point in the season was not the one that I saw last night for sure. So it was the one that we expected to see coming into the season that we had not really to this point, other than maybe for 2.5 quarters of that Cowboy game. Good on them. Good on the Ravens showing up and being the team that we expected them to be from jump. The Bills, I think, are very good. I think they just ran into a team that was motivated and ready to go in the Ravens on Sunday, and the Ravens walked in and handled their business. Good on them. We'll see what happens next week. See if the Ravens can kind of get more consistent with that style of play and with winning the games the way they did on yesterday. And then on the flip side, we'll see how the Bills kind of bounce back and recover and get back to their winning ways.
Okay. Yeah, I picked the Ravens to win, so I'm not surprised one bit. I think Terrence has put. I think he's laying it on a little bit thick with the Bills, with the shots at the Bills. You very well could see them again in January. I don't know if I necessarily agree with they're not tough because they got a lot of people out there on defense. They got a lot of linebackers and corners out. Um, and when I think it's Taylor Rapp or whatever, when I saw him go down, and I'm like, yeah, they ain't man, they're real thin right now though. So I can't really just say I think the Bills just had a bad game. They had a bad night. And I'm not speaking realistically, of course. It was in the script for the Ravens to do what they're doing. And I won't be surprised if they keep doing it all the way. But again, me personally, you saw the difference when you saw Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson under center, I formation. Let's get a little bit more of that because the Ravens can run a better offense. Forget all that spread crap, shotgun, pistol stuff. Man, you ain't got to do all of that. That's for Lamar. Put him in I formation if you want to get the most out of Derrick Henry. And that's pretty much it. Great game, great win, OT. But I think you still should be lucky that the gematria, or hope that gematria is on your side. The Ravens they all right. You know, they're all right. I don't even know if they're really a better team than the Buffalo Bills, but this was the way it was supposed to go. Trust me. I know how it's going, but you just got to let me give you the play-by-play. Because I got more information coming. But as of now, 1 month of football, the first month out of it's in the books. The first quarter is over with. Now we move on to the second quarter of the season, and the Chiefs are still undefeated. The Vikings are still undefeated. No longer are the Steelers. I don't remember how many undefeated teams it was. I think that may be it. Are we just down to 2 undefeated teams now? But the Vikings looking very good. They beat the Packers on yesterday, and they were really dominating the Packers. I think that was impressive on what they've been doing. Kevin O'Connell was going to be Coach of the Year, guys. I think unless they have a significant crazy downfall, yeah, he's pretty much going to get that. Justin Jefferson is showing you why he is #1 in the league. Did you see the corner touchdown, the catch, the one-handed catch in the end zone, in the corner of the end zone? Oh, my God. And then he just kind of pushed Jair Alexander off of him like, get off me. Like, man, I'm the man. I run this. I mean, Addison also, too. I mean, like, Alexander's kind of been getting it this year. He's had some good moments, but more bad moments. It started with A.J. Brown. He got the cook in his ass then when the season first started, but it kind of put A.J. Brown on the bench. Unless A.J. Brown is not really hurt and he's just messing with Jalen Hurts, just trying to make him look bad. I don't know. They got a beef too now. Let's not act like they don't have some differences. But anyway, not trying to get back on Knicks Eagles. The Vikings look good and the Packers, well, what can we say? It was Jordan Love's first game back. Everybody's telling Brian Flores his defensive scheme is crazy. And it must be because ain't nobody figured it out or beat it yet. Can I get Nick? Can I get your thoughts on the Vikings real quick, and we'll keep it moving.
The Vikings are definitely the surprise team of the season so far. I think even coming in, before J.J. McCarthy got hurt, we didn't expect them to look like this. It had J.J. been healthy. And so certainly with him getting hurt and having Sam Darnold have to step in and take over the team, I don't think that there were many expectations for them to look the way they have through 4 games of the season. But between that, along with the things that Brian Flores has their team doing on defense, they look like a legit contender. They look like a real problem. Look like a team that you need to be prepared to deal with come January and potentially even into February as well.
Okay, good stuff. Terrence, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question to you.
Okay.
Now, you're an AFC guy. I'm gonna give you an AFC question. Nick, he told me about the Vikings. We'll take his word for it. Let me ask you this, Terrence. Rasheed Rice, is that how you say it? Is it Rasheed?
Rasheed Rice,
Rasheed Rice could possibly be out with a torn ACL. They've already got Pacheco out for a while, 6 to 8 games. They've got some injuries going on here. Even though we see Travis Kelce is still Travis Kelce. I want to ask you, since you're the AFC guy and that this team is your kryptonite. Well, if you ask Lamar Jackson, they're not, but they are, or they have been. Terrence, right now with the injuries that the Chiefs have that they're going through, do you think this is the year where your Ravens or somebody can get to that Super Bowl and win the AFC? Now that the Chiefs, or do you think the Chiefs are still gonna be the Chiefs?
Until you beat them, they're still the Chiefs. I mean, I would like to say that. I've seen Mahomes win with a lot less than what he has right now. But speaking of Mahomes, that play with Rasheed Rice might be the worst play of Patrick Mahomes' career. The absolute worst play in so many ways. The
Especially
interception,
after the season. Yeah,
yeah, the interception, the poor tackling, just a very, very bad play on Mahomes' part.
yeah, yeah. And so elsewhere around the league, the Houston Texans get back to their winning ways and beat the Jaguars. The Jaguars put up a fight, but not good enough. Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson, 0-4. I got another question for you, Terrence. I've already roasted Trevor Lawrence. I didn't say what I had to say. Your cousin Dwayne said I'm a little too hard on him and Will Levis. Well, Will Levis didn't play, but like a couple of snaps on Monday Night Football. And hell, I don't know, man. Just give me your thoughts on this quarterback situation. Not the quarterback situation. I've already talked about the quarterback. Now I think it's time to kind of go tour with Doug Peterson a little bit here. You're supposed to be this quarterback guru, or kind of somewhat of a good coach that can run a good offense and get the most out of a quarterback, the most potential that a quarterback has to offer. And I don't know if we're seeing it or not out of Trevor Lawrence. Is it Trevor? Is it Doug Peterson? Is it Coach? What is it? Is it lack of talent in Jacksonville? Why can't we get the Jaguars a win? And why is nobody really talking about Trevor Lawrence being 0-4 or putting Doug Peterson on the hot seat? Is this acceptable? I know it's Jacksonville, but damn. Terrence, this is an AFC team, so I'll ask you, what's up with Doug Peterson, or who's to blame for the Jaguars being 0-4, and why ain't nobody talking about it?
Um, Not only are they 0-4, I didn't realize this until this morning. Trevor Lawrence has not won a start since like midway through last season. Because remember, he
Yeah,
got hurt towards the end, and the last game they won, uh, I forgot who it was, but it wasn't Trevor Lawrence that started the game. So Trevor Lawrence has not won a start in like 12 games, I think.
it was
He
it
is
was eight.
0 and
It was
he's 0 and
it was
9
eight
right now.
back to yesterday.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
nine now.
that's right. Okay. Nine now, okay. And he went 0-8 his rookie season with Urban Meyer. So this is worse. This is going worse than the Urban Meyer situation, which was a whole different situation. Um, it's weird though, Jarvis, because like that's one of my favorite Madden teams. I love their receiving core. I love Evan Ingram. Of course, there's the Ole Miss connection there. Um, I love Etienne Jr. I even like the other Josh Allen on the defense. It seems like
Yeah.
they have the talent, and honestly, I watched the game yesterday, and I even like what I saw from Trevor Lawrence. Now he did miss a couple of throws that Lamar Jackson gets a lot of ridicule for. He doesn't get it. Um, but honestly, I think the problem has to be coaching. They have talent. They've got talent all over the place. And even with Lawrence, they've got talent. It's got to be the coaching, man. I'm putting this on coaching right now.
Okay. Okay. Doug Peterson. And it's time that he gets put on the hot seat. It's time somebody hold him accountable. I agree. It's time. That Trevor Lawrence did try to show me what he got, but yeah, it just wasn't enough. But I think Doug Peterson, yeah, he's gonna be on this next edition of Show Me What You Got. We do that every Thursday nights when we go live immediately after Thursday night football on Prime Video. Show me what you got. I think Doug Peterson will be making that list, that segment this week. Okay, so just keeping it moving around the league. Are there any other games, Nick, that I am missing? Again, the Vikings are still undefeated. Oh, the Steelers lost for the first time this season. I don't know how you feel about Justin Fields, but I think after the fumble, he looked pretty damn good. And I'm like, I got a text message saying Russell Wilson may actually get his shot today, and I'm like, nah. After the fumble, Justin Fields really start to turn it up. I didn't know if he could come back from behind. He was looking pretty good doing it. Had it not been for George Pickens fumbling the ball in the red zone inside the 10, I believe, before the half, that was another good drive that they could have put points on the board, possibly a touchdown because they were rolling. The Steelers still lost the game to the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson got hurt. That's the main thing about this is that he got hurt. He had a hip injury. He came back and he got hurt again. I think he actually really got concussed. They're just not saying it. So, but the Colts get the win. Flacco, still in the league. What do you know? Comes in, do the same damn thing that he did with the Cleveland Browns, and that's just get a win. The Steelers' defense didn't make a move. He didn't have to do anything. And when he ain't got to move, he can still blaze it. So, let me ask Nick this question, and Terrence, you can still give me your thoughts on it too. But I'm sticking with AFC, and Nick won't get any time here. So I'm gonna ask you first, Nick. Do you believe or do you agree with what Chris Canty said this morning on Unsportsmanlike ESPN radio? He said that the Steelers are fraud after this one loss to the Indianapolis Colts. Do you agree with that? And if so, or if not, just give me your thoughts on the Steelers and Anthony Richardson. Like he's got to play smarter than this. He had said that he was going to continue to play the way he plays, and I don't think he should do that anymore because the injuries are starting to pile up on him, and Shane Steichen ain't going to be maybe you'll get him back because he'll be fired pretty soon if they don't figure out a way to work this out, or they just going to let Flacco take him to the wild card game and get beat. I don't know. Give me your thoughts.
Oh, excuse me. So no, I don't think the Steelers are a fraud team at all. No, I think obviously Joe Flacco, of course, is a veteran quarterback. Somebody who's been able to kind of, especially in the back end of his career, be able to come in and pick up an offense relatively quickly and at least be able to competently guide it and kind of not make mistakes and get things on the right track. So the idea that they lost to the Colts with him basically taking over for the entire second half there, and I think a little bit in the first half as well. Isn't an indictment on the team, or doesn't say that they're not what we thought they were. We thought that they've been showing, and they have been showing to this point in the season, is that they were better than we expected. We didn't expect them to get to 3-0 or even at 3-1 as it stands now. So I don't think it knocks them down really so much. It's not a loss that couldn't have been predicted or that was just completely out of character for them. Hey, like I said, for a team that has struggled on offense, that has not been entire, really, there's not been the strength of their team. It took them a while to kind of get going on that side of the ball in this game, and it cost them. But I still think they're about what we thought they were.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll never disrespect a team coached by Mike Tomlin. I'm not, and this is, y'all know how I feel about Pittsburgh. Even though I talk crap about them, nothing but respect for them. You're not gonna hear me say anything disrespectful about Pittsburgh. Those guys, even though they don't have the talent, Mike Tomlin gets the absolute most out of those guys every single game. And they might not have elite quarterback play. I think Justin Fields is definitely an upgrade from what they have had, even from the last 2 or 3 years of Big Ben, honestly. So hey, nah, they're not frauds, man. When you line up against Pittsburgh, you better be healthy. Listen, the last two games, the opposing team's quarterback has not finished the game. That's not what frauds do. So nah, you won't hear that out of me. Especially since my Ravens have to play them 2 games, still 2 games this season. I don't want to deal with another injured Lamar Jackson
Right.
season. So nah, they're not frauds. You got to beat Pittsburgh.
Right. Okay. And last but not least, I want to ask you a question about the Jets. They lost to the Denver Broncos. Oh, one thing I forgot to note: the Washington Commanders. I wish I was him right now. The Washington Commanders punter. I wish I was him right now because I'd be getting some free money because that guy has not punted. He's played in 3 games, and he's only punted in 1, and he hadn't punted in the past 2 games. That's the Washington Commanders, like, not needing a punt. Just wanted to just put that out there. Now, my question for you guys both about the Jets, and we can wrap this up here. The New York Jets lost 10-9, I believe the final score was.
Mm-hmm.
At
Yeah.
Life Stadium, Jets Broncos. This goes back to the Hackett Bowl again. Nathaniel Hackett, who's trash. I can remember Sean Payton talking about him, and they had some, remember we had that moment, and then they played each other, and everybody was like, ha, 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 ha. Didn't Sean Payton lose that game? What was Nathaniel Hackett? What was he at? Was he already a Jet? Yeah. Somehow Nathaniel Hackett and the Jets won without Aaron Rodgers last year to the Broncos, and this year with Aaron Rodgers, Sean Payton gets his revenge back, and he looks over there and says, "I told you guys suck." Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If a defense allows only 10 points in a game, I thought the defense did their job. But how does the offense only put up 9? I asked you guys this question. I'm about to ask you again. I asked you the question after week 1 when the Niners beat down the Jets, which I really didn't see coming because I was like, the Niners are probably going to lose opening night. The Jets, let's see if they're going to be what people think they're going to be. I was never really on the Jets wagon. So I'll ask you guys again. Do you think the New York Jets are overhyped and overrated after their loss to the Broncos? Or is it no big deal?
I'm not gonna say no big deal, but I'm not gonna go as far as to call them overrated yet either. I think what we're seeing is because of the devaluation of the preseason. We're seeing a lot of teams who are working out what normally be those preseason kinks in the first 4 to 5 weeks of the regular season. And so I think from a holistic standpoint, it becomes very difficult to pass judgment on teams at this point because of this being really the extended preseason more so than it being the beginning of the regular season in terms of the quality of play and the consistency and the crispness and the sharpness, in comparison to what you'll get from teams further on into the season.
Man, it's a tough one. I'm going to give them a pass this week because apparently the Broncos have the number 1 defense again this year, which they do this quite often. Um, I'm giving them a pass this week. But Jarvis, if I can make a suggestion, I think that Aaron Rodgers should be on this Show Me What You Got because what has he done lately?
Mm. Mm.
So if I can make a
Interesting
suggestion,
take.
if I can make a suggestion, I would love to throw. We need to see a game from Aaron Rodgers. Now I understand he's a little long in the tooth, but so was Tom Brady. Tom Brady took that Bucks team, even as talented as they were. He took that Bucks team to a championship, and he had some games in there where he still looked like Brady. We ain't seen Aaron Rodgers in a long time. So if I had to make a suggestion, I would say Aaron Rodgers. Show me what you got.
I like it, T. I do. And see how I done that. But I think that the Jets, just a week ago, people were saying, Aaron looks like he's back to being Aaron. You see how it looks when you play the Patriots versus when you play a team with a number 1 defense? And that's why Niner fans
Yeah.
shouldn't get too happy with their win over the Patriots. It was a good win. It was a good win that they needed, but it still was against the New England Patriots. I wouldn't, it's nothing to brag about. But anyway, yeah, it's funny how just a week ago, it was like Aaron Rodgers is back. This is the best I've seen him in quite some time. And now it's back to dun dun dun. It's a dud. Aaron Rodgers and Robert Saleh seem to have some beef. I don't know what's going on with those two. Robert Saleh has said that when he was asked at the presser that, hey man, do who are you? Whose fault is it? Why can't you get this stuff right with the cadence? And why were they jumping outsides? Or the false starts, or no, they kept jumping outsides, whichever one it was. The false starts, and he just kept saying, "Yeah,
false starts."
False starts." Okay, so Robert Saleh tells the media that, we could just kind of, cut out all the cadence stuff, like maybe not so much of that. And Aaron Rodgers comes back and he answers his question to the media and he tells them, yeah, we could do that, or we could just hold the people accountable for the people that are jumping. We do this all the time, a million times in practice. This shouldn't happen damn near a handful of times in a game. And I'm not saying Aaron is right. Or wrong. I'm not saying that Robert Saleh is wrong. I kind of agree with them both. But it's still a disconnect. And it just seems like Aaron Rodgers really wanted to slap the shit out of somebody yesterday on the sideline. I'm not going to lie. I was never on this wagon. I told you all before last year when he first arrived, even though he didn't play, that he won't do any more with the Jets than Brett Favre did with the Jets. It'll be a blur, just like it was when he was there. Because everybody likes to just fast forward and act as if Brett Favre went from the Green Bay Packers straight to the Minnesota Vikings. They don't even talk about the Jets because there was nothing to really talk about. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. It won't be much to talk about. I'm sorry. I'm not just saying that their season is over. They're done. They're cooked. I'm just saying they're not that good, though. They're all right. They're okay. But this is it for Robert Saleh. He's going to get fired. If Aaron Rodgers is coming back, he's definitely going to get him up out of there. But Nathaniel Hackett needs to be going, too. And so, Aaron Rodgers, for you to bring Nathaniel Hackett with you, that's what you get, too. Like, you deserve to lose and miss the playoffs and all of that, because who in the hell would want this guy as the offensive coordinator? He knows nothing, and he's pretty bad. The Jets lose again, and I'm not surprised. They're 2-2, and that's pretty much how their season's going to be. Pretty mediocre. They're a 9-8 team, to be honest with you, because it's Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, and that's about it. Now, if they go make the trade for Devontae, different story. D-Hop, different story. But if they don't do anything like that, nah. Did you know that it's been like 25 straight games since Aaron Rodgers has thrown over 300 yards? He's literally thrown under 300 yards for 20-something straight games. That don't sound like a bad man to me. Terrence may be right. Thursday's episode, he may be on the next edition to show me what you got. But Robert Saleh, you got to show me something too, bro. Oh, this is going to be it for you. I ain't got anything else. I think that's it. I think that and our time is up, but I think we ran through the best of our abilities through all these Sundays games. Is there anything that you all need to say? Oh, and I'm sorry. Rest in power, long live to Dikembe Mutombo, who passed away at 58, we heard earlier today, of brain cancer. And also, Nick, was it also the baseball legend,
Pete Rose.
Also passed away today at 80. And you know what they say?
83.
83.
83. It comes in threes. It's going to be one more. I hate to say it. But anyway, long live, rest in power to the both of them. And guys, anything that y'all need to say before we wrap this show up? It's been a good one.
That's it, man. Like I said, rest in peace to those guys. Dikembe Mutombo, one of the great defensive players of all time. And Pete Rose, one of the great baseball players overall of all time.
Hey, man, it was nothing like that finger wave growing up, man. That finger wave meant something. No, 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 no. Not in here.
Yeah. On Mutombo, man. Wow, 58. Man, they're too young, man. But, that's cancer.
Yeah.
Man. Cancer, and I had heard that there was something going on with him about a year or so ago medically, but nobody said what the health, issues was. But, yeah, here it is. So, yeah, rip them both. And it was a great week of football in week 4 of the NFL. We had a lot of blowouts. We had some games that went from blowouts to shootouts. Pretty good overall. 1 month of the 2024 NFL season is already in the books. Week 5. Who are we coming back with week 5? Thursday Night Football. I don't know. Who is it? I know Sunday morning in London we've got the Jets and the Vikings. We'll talk about that Thursday night. That's gonna be interesting.
Thursday
Undefeated
night,
Vikings.
we've got Tampa Bay at Atlanta.
Tampa Bay at Atlanta on Thursday
Mm.
night. That's gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
good. Tampa Bay rolling right now, 3-1. Baker Mayfield looking very good and impressive. He said some things on the podcast. He said it got took out of context, and Brady, said, "Hey, man, responding to Baker Mayfield, Baker Mayfield said that it was kind of stressful when Tom Brady was there, and they just kind of wanted him to be there to kind of take the load off. And nobody expected them to be that good anyway, so he just wanted to be less stressful around the place. And I guess Baker's more fun, which he is. Brady said, "Well, hey, I thought not winning Super Bowls was more stressful. It wasn't a daycare that they were trying to run over there when he was there in Tampa Bay." So, and then he had to call the game and he had to talk about Baker Mayfield playing good football though, because he really did, and he was fired up. Baker Mayfield is doing good. A lot of resurrected careers. Still waiting on Deshaun Watson to resurrect his. Justin Herbert lost. I'll come back at another time later this week and talk about him because I ain't really been on his ass like I should be. They are 2-2 now after starting 2-0, and most people say they didn't beat anybody those first 2 weeks. I know Justin Herbert played the boogeyman on Sunday, but man, we got to stop throwing his name in that list too. When we always say Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar, Justin Herbert, why are we saying Justin Herbert's name? We need more from Justin Herbert. I know he's got an ankle injury. Okay, it ain't like he was scrambling and moving like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson on Sundays anyway. If you can stand in the pocket and use your head and your arm, you should be all right. He played. I respect his toughness, but come on now. That game was there for you to win. We didn't speak on it, but that game was there for the Chargers to win. It's literally 10-3, 10-7 most of the game, 10-10 for a while. Make a play, bro. Do something, Herbert. Do something. I know that there's some missing pieces there on offense, but they're not bad. They run the ball a lot, sometimes too much, but this should help you win the game. Beat them. You were at home. Should have got the win, man. It was there for you. Mahomes has got everybody on a dead leg, in the hospital bed, on the bench, in the booth. Everybody's gone and hurt. That was your shot. You blew it. All right, that's all I got. We're done. We're out of here. This time I mean it. Thank you for listening to the Great Debate Show. And we will be back Thursday night. Hope you all catch it Thursday night or early Friday. We will have week 5 picks and predictions and parlays. And I was pretty damn good this past week. So we need to start showing that and sharing that information a little bit more. I must have got like everything right but one game. Those janky ass Titans. But other than that, I was on a roll. A lot of green checks on the list. So let's get back to helping people out with their parlays. We'll start on it on Thursday. All right. So that's it. We gone. Y'all be safe out there. Peace.
Get over.
Peace out, y'all.